Hi, my name's Carissa and welcome to another video. This is a non-spoilery mini review for The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks. This will have some mini spoilers in terms of the first book, so if you haven't read that one, I'd turn away now. This is the second book in the Lightbringer series, and I really struggled with the first one being The Black Prism, and I struggled with the world, the characters, just a lot really in the first one, and it felt too much like a setup. As you were kind of going along and being told all these things, educated about the magic system and things like that, it just felt like so much of a setup for the next book for these characters to then kind of live in the world and grow. And I was kind of right about it, because this one I went to it so much easier and I really enjoyed the world a lot better, and especially the characters, because I really struggled with them, especially Kip. I really found him really smart mouth. He was really kind of irritating, but in this one he grew to become kind of a fighter and kind of a survivor as well, which I really liked. This one kind of follows on from the first book. There's still this kind of war going on, and Gavin kind of rediscovers himself as well in this book, because in the first book you discover a certain twist involving Gavin and it's kind of like, oh, okay, and this one he kind of realises kind of more about himself and who he actually is. And his relationship with Karis in this book also goes through quite a few things as well. Karis being his ex-fiancée and like really badass as well. I love Karis. But she's much more like romantic in this one. You know, she tries to kind of get more in touch with Gavin, but she's still really like very like fierce. It's like, yes, Karis, do whatever you want. But I really enjoyed the story as a whole. There were issues in this, like the first one, which, because there were issues in the first one, it kind of carried through to this one. I know some people don't like certain parts of the story with this, especially when Kip is playing a game with Andros. Is that his name, Andros? Andros Guile, his grandfather, and it's a really interesting dynamic between two of them, but I know some people got very bored with that part of the story. But I found it very interesting seeing them kind of challenging each other, and Kip, it kind of helped his progression as a character to kind of fight for those he cares about and be like, you know what, I'm not a pushover, and I really enjoyed that. And it ends in a cliffhanger as well, this book, which was very nice to see, because now I'm like, ooh, very invested in the world. Liv as well, a character from the first book, you still hear about her in this book as well. Liv kind of joined the dark side in the first book to save her friends, and this one you kind of follow her in the camp, and it's really interesting because she just hears everything. She's not a big player for them, but at the same time she is just there, and you can hear all the information from the enemy side through her, which I thought was very handy to kind of know where the war actually is, because if you were just reading like from Gavin and Kip's kind of perspective, you wouldn't really know what was actually happening. And her journey was very interesting in this book as well, because it comes to the end in which she's got two choices, and you kind of think, oh, she's gonna have to pick this choice surely, but it's all been leading up to the other choice, and I really kind of liked that she had this kind of moment in which it's like, which way do I go? A lot of really minor characters as well in this I really enjoyed. New characters, Cruxa and Tia, I think is how you pronounce her name as well, who become close to Kip. I like that because it makes him more human and more likeable as well, the fact that he's got these two people around him, and you kind of see how the relationship grows with each other. It's really interesting. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. Just because I still have issues with the world, but this one was such a better installment of it. I have started the third book because I just really enjoyed this by the end of it. I was loving the characters, and I kind of don't want to have a break from it and go back to step 1 having issues with it, because I still had issues in the beginning of the book, but as I went through the book, I just really enjoyed it. The only issue I had was that I just read this over such a long period that I think I didn't enjoy it as much as I could have, but I could see the potential was there. Yeah, I just definitely recommend it if you weren't a big fan of the first one. This one really does step up and really helps you grow attached to the characters that were not very interesting really in the first book. So yes, The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks gets a 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you for watching this review. I hope it kind of was coherent because I didn't make any notes on this review. I just kind of said what was in my head. I've got my Goodreads down below. Subscribe, like, and let me know your views on this book if you've read it, if you've read any other Brent Weeks' books, and I'll see you next time. Bye!